devotees, thank you all so much for joining. Let's start with Kirtan. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you all so much for joining. Let's continue our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, chapter 13. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So I think till verse 17 was completed yesterday. So we start from 71 onwards. Sumati Mataji, Hare Krishna. You can start reading, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranams Mataji. Text 71. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. शीघ्र चली नीला चले गेला जगदानंदा भक्त सहा गोसाई हायला परमानंदा. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Meanwhile, traveling very quickly, Jagadananda Pandita soon arrived in Jagannath Puri, much to the joy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees. Text 72. Prabhura Charana Vandi Sabare Mi Lila Mahaprabhu Tare Dridha Alingana Kaila. Translation. After offering prayers at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagadananda Pandita greeted everyone. Then the Lord embraced Jagadananda very strongly. Text 73. Sanatanera Name Pandita Dandavat Kaila Rasa Stalira Duli Adi Sabha Betha Dila. Translation. Jagadananda Pandita offered obeisances to the Lord on behalf of Sanatan Goswami. Then he gave the Lord the dust from the site of the Rasa dance along with the other gifts. Text 74. Sabha Rakhilena Piludilena Bhantiya Vrindavanera Palabali Kaila Hrishtahaya. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept all the gifts except the pilu fruits which he distributed to the devotees. Because the fruits were from Vrindavana, everyone ate them with great happiness. Text 75. Ye kaha jane anti खुशी ते लागिला ये ना जाने गौड़िया पीलू चावाया काइला. Translation. Those devotees who were familiar with pilu fruits sucked on the seeds, but the Bengali devotees who did not know what they were chewed the seeds and swallowed them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. So this section, Jagadanand Pandit, who had gone to Vrindavan, now he is returning to Jagannath Puri. Just one minute. Hare Krishna, sorry. So he arrives at Jagannath Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees are very happy to receive him there. And because he had met Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, so he's going to bring those greetings from Srila Sanatan Goswami also. So obviously, after meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's offering prayers at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he greets everyone, all the devotees, and then the Lord embraced Jagdanand very strongly, and Jagdanand Pandit offers obeisances on behalf of Sanatan Goswami, and then the gifts that he had brought from Vrindavan, the dust from the site of the rasa dance, and along with the other gifts that he had brought for the Lord, he gives the Lord that, and the Lord accepts the gifts, but the pilu fruits, the special pilu fruits, he distributes that to all the devotees. And these fruits were not ordinary fruits, they were coming from Vrindavan, so everyone ate them with great happiness. Now, these pilu fruits, those who were familiar with what kind of fruit and what kind of seed it has, they sucked on the seeds. But the Bengali devotees, because they were not familiar with the nature of the seeds of the pilu fruits, they swallowed them. So now we'll see what happens once they have swallowed it. Yeah. Rekha Mataji, can read.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 76. मुखे तारा झाला गेला जिह्वा करे ज्वाला व्रधा व्रधावनेरा.
Vrindavanera. Mataji,
Sorry.
Vrindavanera.
Okay, that's what. Give me 1 minute. I'll open in my iPad. I'm not able to see this here.
Yes, sure, Mataji.
What's the Antya Lila? Which chapter, Mataji?
Antya Lila, 13th chapter, verse number 76.
Okay. Sorry, I was outside.
No problem, Mataji, no problem.
Hare Krishna, text 76. मुखे तारा झाला गेला जिह्वा करे ज्वाला वृंदावने पाइलो खाइते ये कालीला. The hot chili like taste burned the tongues of those who chewed the seeds. Thus, the eating of pilu fruits from Vrindavana became a pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. This we have to pronounce as pilu, right, Mataji? Is it?
I think it's Pilu, Mataji. I'm not very sure, but maybe Pilu pilu fruits, I think.
Okay. Text 77. Jagadanandera agamane sabara ullasa ei mate nila chale prabhura vilasa. When Jagadananda Pandita returned from Vrindavana, everyone was jubilant. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed his pastimes while residing at Jagannath Puri. एकादीना प्रभु यामेश्वर तोता आईते सई काले देवदासी लागी लागैते. One day when the Lord was going to the temple of Yameshwara, a female singer began to sing in the Jagannath temple. गुज्जारी रागिणी लाना सुमधुर स्वरे गीता गोविंद पाद गाया jagamana hare. She sang a Gujari tune in a very sweet voice, and because the subject was Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govinda, the song attracted the attention of the entire world. दूरे गाना सुनी प्रभुरा हाइला आवेशा स्त्री पुरुषा के गाया न जाने विशेषा. Hearing the song from a distance, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately became ecstatic. He did not know whether it was a man or a woman singing. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mataji. Very good. So the devotees, the Bengali devotees who did not, who were not familiar with the taste of the pilu fruits, they swallowed the seeds, and the hot chili-like taste burned the tongues of those who chewed the seeds. Thus, the eating of pilu fruits from Vrindavan became a pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even this becomes a pastime. This becomes a source of, of nectar, of rasa for the Lord and his devotees. And when Jagannath Pandit returned from Vrindavan, everyone was jubilant. Now, when we are in a congregation of devotees and it's like a family, and when someone goes and comes back, it's like reunion with a family member, right? So everyone is very happy. So in the same way, when Jagannath Pandit returned from Vrindavan, everyone was jubilant. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed his pastimes while residing at Jagannath Puri. Now, the next important incident of this chapter starts here in verse 78. So, one day the Lord was going to the temple of Yameshwara Tota, and at that time he heard a female singer singing, in the Jagannath temple. Okay, and the Lord is hearing, and there is a female singer who is singing in the Jagannath temple. It was a Gujari tune, and she was singing in a very sweet voice. And the subject was Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govinda, which is full of nectarian pastimes between Lord Krishna and Radharani. So the song attracted the attention of the entire world. So the subject of the song is Krishna, and the very esoteric pastimes of Lord Krishna, and being sung in the Jagannath temple in a very sweet tune. So, hearing the song from a distance, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately became ecstatic. And for him, it was not about, who is singing. He was not attracted to the voice. He was attracted to what was being sung. It was glorification of Lord Krishna, the pastimes of Lord Krishna being sung. And so that attracted the Lord. He did not really understand whether it was a man singing or a woman singing. He was just attracted by the song. Okay. Yeah, moving forward. Yeah, Padma Mataji, Hare Krishna, 81 onwards.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam Mataji.
तारे मिली बारे प्रभु आवेशे दाइला पाते सी जेरा बादी हया होतिया चालीला. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. As the Lord ran in ecstasy to meet the singer, thorny hedges pricked his body. 82. Ange kanta lagila kichu na janila aste vyaste govinda tanre pachete daila. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Govinda ran very quickly behind the Lord, who did not feel any pain from the pricking of the thorns. Text 83. दानयायेन प्रभु श्रीयाचे अल्पदूरे श्रीगया बाली गोविंदा प्रभु रे कैला कोले. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was running very, very rapidly, and the girl was only a short distance away. Just when Govinda caught the Lord in his arms and cried, "It's a woman singing." Text 84. Sri Nama Shuni Prabhura Baya Haila Punarapi Sei Pate Bahudi Chalila. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. As soon as he heard the word woman, the Lord became externally conscious and turned back. 85. Prabhu kahe Govinda aji rakhila jivana Sri parasa haila amara haita marana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Govinda, he said, you have saved my life. If I had touched the body of a woman, I would certainly have died. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we see from Lord Chaitanya's conduct, from his behavior, how he's always setting examples, very strict standards for everyone to follow, because the tendency generally is to dilute everything. So if the Lord even, if he would slack in anything, then people would just take that as an excuse and do all sorts of things which would harm them in turn. So the Lord, out of his compassion for the conditioned souls, especially of Kali Yuga, he sets these very high standards so that, the regulations, the rules that are being told to us, we also try to follow them very strictly, because that is for our protection only. Our consciousness is very, very fickle. It can get polluted, it can get downgraded very easily. And so we have to take these standards, we have to keep these standards in mind, and only then can we really be protected. So here the Lord is hearing this Gita Govinda being sung in a very beautiful tune in the Jagannath temple, and he wants to, he runs towards the singer. He wants to know who is singing this very beautiful glorification of the Lord. And at this time, because he is so enamored by the song, that he doesn't realize that thorny edges are pricking his body. So he's not in external consciousness at all. Now Govinda runs behind the Lord, and the Lord is not feeling any pain because of the pricking of the thorns. But Govinda runs behind the Lord. And the Lord was running very rapidly because it was about Krishna being sung. So when he was just a little distance away from the girl, Govinda stops him very strongly. He catches the Lord in his arms and says that it's a woman singing. And hearing this, then the Lord comes into, his external consciousness returns, and he says, as soon as he hears the word woman, so he becomes externally conscious, and then he turns back. Because for a sannyasi, having this kind of an interaction with a girl would have been very devastating. And that's why the Lord says that Govinda, sorry, Govinda, you have saved my life. If I had touched the body of a woman, I would certainly have died. So that is how strongly Lord Chaitanya takes these vows of sannyas. And so, these rules we have to learn from the Lord, from the previous acharyas, how very strongly they used to follow these rules. Like even Srila Prabhupada, he is a Nitya Sangi of Lord Krishna. He can never be contaminated by anything material. He can never have any materialistic desire. But when he was in Vrindavan and his sister would come, Pishima would come, Prabhupada would not talk to her alone. He would always insist on one of his disciples to be there. So with his behavior, Prabhupada is teaching us how strongly we have to take, one who is in the sannyas order, how strongly they should take these vows of sannyas. Okay. Yeah, moving
Hare
forward.
Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, You mentioned some particular tune of that song, no, Mataji? What is that tune you said of the song?
Mentioned here, Mataji, Gujjari tune.
Gujri.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
Mataji.
yeah.
Okay. We don't know what it is, no, Mataji?
Where can we hear this song, Mataji?
Sorry,
This
Mataji, sorry. Yeah. Yeah,
Gita
Mataji, what were
Govinda?
you saying?
Yeah, we do not know what is this kind of tune, no,
Tune,
Mataji?
yeah, Mataji, we don't know tune. This tune actually, Srila
It is
Bhaktisiddhanta.
Gujarati side singing, Mataji. Gujarati side, Gujarati.
Okay, I don't know, Mataji. Gujjari, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay,
But,
Mataji.
yeah, Padma Mataji, you were saying about Gita
Sir,
Govinda.
I said, yeah, from where can we get this song to hear, to listen? It's so nectarian.
Actually, Mataji, as far as I remember, I hear one senior devotee saying that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Prabhupada, one of them had actually told us not to hear Gita Govinda because it's a
Okay.
very advanced level of pastime between Lord Krishna and Radharani. So,
Okay, Mataji.
yeah, Mataji. So we should hear what we have, Mataji. If Gita Govinda, if we were supposed to hear Gita Govinda, Prabhupada would have given it to us. It would be there in our Vaishnava song book.
Yeah.
This is my understanding. So because the pastimes of very, esoteric nature are mentioned there, so uh, I'm not very sure who said no, maybe Prabhupada or his Guru Maharaj, but one of them I think had said that don't hear it. We should not very openly hear it. Maybe some advanced devotees can, but in general, we don't
Yeah, not supposed to.
discuss these pastimes, no, with the very
Yeah.
intimate pastimes. Yeah, that's what Mataji.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
If I hear about Gujjari tune, if I'll look for it. I'll definitely share it in the group if I'm able to find this tune. Yeah,
Okay, Mataji. Thank you,
yeah,
Mataji.
okay, Mataji. Yeah, so we were reading that Govinda stops the Lord, and the Lord says that you have saved my life, and because if I had touched a woman, I would certainly have died. So the Lord is very very conscious of following all the rules of sannyas very strictly. And in ISKCON, we see even till date, these rules, all the senior devotees they follow them very nicely, and it's it's actually very motivating for us when we see devotees even in today's time when they follow all these regulations very nicely. It's very motivating, like his grace Lila Prabhu, he has given a full session about the behavior, the conduct of what is the proper conduct of brahmacharis. So when we hear such lectures and we see that brahmacharis in ISKCON are actually following that, with regard to behavior with other people, with regard to behavior with Matajis. We have to be so conscious because these things are like fire. One small mistake and it can turn into something very, very devastating, not just for the devotee, but for the mission itself, for the society itself. And that is why it is important to follow these rules. And as I said, that it's very motivating when we see even these young devotees who have been raised in very, conventional atmosphere, co-ed kind of education, and when everything is very, very free, the mingling between men and women is so very free. But then when we see devotees in ISKCON following that acharan, following that etiquette. It's very motivating, and we should all try to imbibe that in our lives also. Yes, times have changed. Yes, some interactions between Matajis and Prabhus are definitely required because we have to do sevas together. But that has to be done within this whole within this whole umbrella of ISKCON and the rules that have been given to us by our acharyas. We should not have that kind of very free interaction which we find in the outside world because we have to understand that we are following a sampradaya. And so, some people have this objection, why do women have to sit separately? Why do men have to sit separately in your temples and your programs? There is a reason for that. There is a certain kind of etiquette there is a certain kind of boundary that is required. Otherwise, this free mingling can be devastating for everyone. So, like here, the Lord is setting the example himself. Okay, so now he interacts further with Govinda. So let's read what he says. Gandhi Mati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I read Mataji.
Yes.
Text 86. Yerna sodite ami nirma tomara Govinda kahe Jagadananda rakena moyi kon chara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: I shall never be able to repay my debit to you. Purport: Govinda replied, Lord Jagannatha has saved you. I am insignificant. Text 87. Prabhu kahe Govinda mora sange rahiba. Yahan tahan mora rakshaya. Savadana haiba. Translation: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, My dear Govinda, you should stay with me always. There is danger anywhere and everywhere. Therefore, you should protect me very carefully. Text 88. Yeta bali lyuthu prabhu kehe nija sthane suni mahabaya haila Swarupati Mane. Translation: After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned home. When Swarupa Damodara Goswami and his other attendants heard about the incident, they became very much afraid. Hare Krishna. Text 89. Yita tapana mishra putra Raghunatha Bhattacharya Prabhu re kahita chalila chati sarva karya. Translation: During this time, Raghunatha Bhattacharya, the son of Tapana Misra, gave up all his duties and left home, intending to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 90. Kasi haita chalila tenho gauda pata diya. Sange sevaka chale tanra jali vihiya. Translation: Accompanied by a servant carrying his baggage, Raghunatha Bhatta started from Varanasi and travelled along the path leading through Bengal. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So Lord Chaitanya is very, very, I know he's feeling a lot of gratitude to Govinda. He says that I'll never be able to repay the debt to you because you saved me. Now, and Govinda is not like, yes, I did something great. He's not accepting that credit at all. He says that Lord Jagannath has saved you and I am insignificant. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Govinda that you always stay with me. It's better you always stay with me because there is danger everywhere and you will be able to protect me, Govinda. So you always stay with me. And then after saying this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returns home. And then when all the other devotees, they heard about this incident, they became very afraid because yes, it was a very alarming kind of an incident. It was not something that happened every day. The devotees were a little alarmed. And now the next section of this chapter comes where Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, one of our six Goswamis of Vrindavan, he is the son of Tapan Mishra. We have read in Madhya Lila how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he meets Tapan Mishra in Bengal and then in Varanasi. He tells Tapan Mishra to go to Varanasi. Then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to Varanasi, there are pastimes between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Tapan Mishra. So Tapan Mishra's son is Raghunath Bhattacharya or Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Now at this time in Varanasi, what is happening? Raghunath Bhattacharya, he gives up all his duties and he leaves home because he wants to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he has a helper who's carrying his baggage, and so he travels from Varanasi along, through Bengal, and he's coming to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now let's read further what happens. Swati Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Phate thare milla vishwasa ramadhata vishwasa kanara prayasta tino rajara vishwasa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ji. In Bengal, he met Ramdas Vishwasa, who belonged to the Kayastha caste. He was one of the king's secretaries. Shall I read purport, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ji. The word Vishwasa, Anara, Kayastha indicate a secretary or clerk belonging to the Kayastha caste. Kayastha were usually secretaries to kings, governors, or other important persons. It is said that anyone working in the government secretariat at this time was a Kayastha. सर्वशास्त्रे प्रवीण काव्य प्रकाश अध्यापक परम वैष्णव रघुनाथ उपासक. Translation by Prabhupada Ji. Ramdas Vishwasa was very learned in all revealed scriptures. He was the teacher of famous book Kavya Prakasha and was known as an advanced devotee and worshipper of Raghunatha, Lord Ramachandra. Purport. Commenting on the word Parama Vaishnava, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that anyone who desires to merge into the existence of the Lord cannot be a pure Vaishnava. But because Ramdas Vishwasa was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, he was almost a Vaishnava. In those days, no one could distinguish between a pure Vaishnava and a pseudo Vaishnava. Therefore, Ramadasa Vishwasa was known as a Vaishnava because he worshipped Lord Ramachandra. अष्टप्रहरा राम नाम जपेन रात्रि दिने सर्वत्याजी चालीला जगन्नाथ दर्शने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Ramdas had renounced everything and was going to see Lord Jagannath. He was traveling. He chanted the holy name of Lord Rama 24 hours a day. रघुनाथ बटेरा स्थाने पतिते मिलीला बटेरा जाति माते करी वही सलीला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When he met Raghunath Bhatta on the way, he took Raghunath's baggage on his head and carried it. नाना सेवा करे करे पद संवाहना ताते रघुनाथारे नातारे नातेरा हाय संकुचिता माना. Translation by Prabhupada. Ramdas served Raghunath Bhatta in various ways. Even massaging his legs, Raghunath Bhatta felt some hesitation in accepting all this service. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So in this section, we are reading that in Bengal, so he's traveling. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is traveling to through Bengal, and there he meets a Kayasth whose name is Ramdas Vishwas. He was one of the king's secretaries. So Prabhupada is explaining that the words Vishwas, Khanara, Kayastha indicate a secretary or a clerk belonging to the Kayasth class, and Kayasthas were usually secretaries to the kings, governors, other important persons. And Prabhupada says that it is said that anyone working in the government secretariat at this time was a Kayastha. Okay, so that is the group, the class of people. Now, he was very learned in all revealed scriptures, and he was a teacher of the famous book Kavya Prakash, and he was known as an advanced devotee of Lord Ram. But Prabhupada is explaining that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, commenting on the word Parama Vaishnava, says that anyone who desires to merge into the existence of the Lord cannot be a pure Vaishnava. But because Ramdas Vishwas was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, he was almost a Vaishnava. Now, in those days, it was difficult to distinguish between a pure Vaishnava and a pseudo Vaishnava. Therefore, Ramdas Vishwas did get the respect as a Vaishnava because he was worshipping Lord Ramchandra. He had renounced everything and he was going to see Lord Jagannath, and he would chant the names of Lord Ram 24 hours a day. Now, during this time, he meets Raghunath Bhatta on the way, and he takes his bag on his head. So he's doing seva to him. And he served Raghunath Bhatta in various ways. He was even massaging his legs. But no, devotees don't like this kind of seva. So Raghunath Bhatta Goswami did feel hesitation in accepting all this service. Okay, let's see what happens. The further interaction. Kripa Mai Sita Devi Dasi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji Dandatna. Text 96. Tumi bada loka pandita mahabhagavate seva naka kariha suke chala mora sate. Translation by Prabhupada Kiji. You are a respectable gentleman and a learned scholar and a great devotee. Raghunatha Bhatta said, please do not try to serve me. Just come with me in a happy mood. 97, text 97. Ramadasa kahi ami sudra atma atha athama brahma nere sevi eyi morani jadharma. Translation Prabhupada Kiji. Ramadasa replied, I am a Sudra, a fallen soul. To serve a Brahmana is my duty and religious principle. Text 98. Sankochana karatumi ami toma dasa tomara seva karide aya hridaya ullasa. Translation by Prabhupada Kiji. Therefore, please do not be hesitant. I am your servant, and when I serve you, my heart becomes jubilant. Text 99. Etabali jali vahina karina sevini raguna tera taraka mantra japina ratri dini. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. And thus, Ramadasa carried the baggage of Raghunatha Bhatta and served him sincerely. He constantly chanted the holy name of Lord Ramachandra day and night. Text 100. Emate Raghunatha Aila Nila Chale Prabhura Charane Yani Milile Kutuhe. Translation by Prabhupada Keji. Traveling in this way, Raghunatha Bhatta soon arrived at Jagannath Puri. There he met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great delight and fell at his lotus feet. Continue, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Krishna. Yeah, so in this section, we see that he's offering his services to Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, but Raghunath Bhatta Goswami feels some hesitation in accepting all these services, and he says that you are a respectable gentleman, a learned scholar, a great devotee. Please do not serve me. Just come with me in a happy mood. So you just join me, be happy, but don't serve me. But Ramdas says that I am a Shudra, I'm a fallen soul. To serve a Brahman is my duty, it is my religious principle. So please, I'm a servant, accept these services. And when I serve you, I feel happy. So thus, Ramdas carried the baggage of Raghunath Bhatta and served him sincerely. He constantly chanted the holy name of Lord Ramchandra day and night. So in this way, traveling like this, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami soon arrived at Jagannath Puri. There he meets Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great delight and he falls at the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay. Yeah, let's move forward. Would someone like to read? Hare Krishna. Yeah, Krishnamurti
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dhanvat Pranam. Please read.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Text 100. Magari Bhatta Padila Charane Prabhu Raghunatha Jani Kaila Alingane. Translation basic Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Raghunatha Bhatta fell right as a lotus of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mataji, unable to hear Mataji. What
I
happened?
can't hear Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Not able to hear you, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Okay, let me read. So Raghunath Bhatta fell straight as a rod at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then the Lord embraced him, knowing well who he was.
Hare Krishna Mataji, shall I read
Yes,
Mataji?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I think there was some network issue, so we were not able to hear you.
Yes, Mataji, I will continue Mataji. Thanks. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, please. Hare
Mishra ara sakhera dandavajjana ila Mahaprabhu tana sabara varsa puchela. Translation basic Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Raghunatha offered respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on behalf of Tapana Mishra and Chandrasekhara, and the Lord also inquired about them. Text 103. Bala haila jeka kamala lochana aji amara yeta kariba prasada bhojana. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. It is very good that you have come here. The Lord said, now you go see the lotus-eyed Lord Jagannatha. Today you will accept prasadam here at my place. Text 104. Govindere kahi eka wasa diyoeli diyoyaila Sarupadi Bhakta Gana Tane Milaila. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki. The Lord asked Govinda to arrange for Raghunatha Bhatta's accommodations and then introduced him to all the devotees headed by Sarupa Damodara Goswami. Text 105. यही माता प्रभु संगे राहिला अस्तमाशा दिने दिने प्रभुर कृपया बढ़ाइए उल्लासा. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Thus Raghunath Bhatta lived with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continuously for 8 months, and by the Lord's mercy he felt increasing transcendental happiness every day.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Hari
Krishna
Bol.
Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very happy to meet Raghunath Bhattacharya. And Raghunath Bhatta, he falls straight as a rod at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see, this is like, the full family of devotees, because his father, Tapat Mishra, was such a great devotee. He's such a great devotee, and Raghunath Bhatta, he's meeting Lord Chaitanya, and the Lord embraces him. The Lord knows very well who he is, so the Lord embraces him. And he also offers obeisances on behalf of his father, Tapan Mishra, and Chandrasekhar, he's also one of the prominent devotees in Varanasi. So on behalf of them also he offers obeisances. And the Lord inquires how everyone is doing, how they are. And he says that it's very nice that you have come here. Now go take darshan of Lord Jagannath, and today you will accept prasadam at my place. And then the Lord asked Govinda to arrange accommodation for Raghunath Bhatta, and then introduced him to all the devotees headed by Srila Sarupa Damodar Goswami. Then Raghunath Bhatta lived with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continuously for 8 months. And by the Lord's mercy, he felt increasing transcendental happiness every day. So fortunate to have such close association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 8 months. Okay. Next, Uttama Padma Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna Pranam Mataji.
Text 106. Madhya Madhya Mahaprabhura Karena Nimantrana Gara Bhata Karena Ara Vividha Vyanjana. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. He would periodically cook rice with various vegetables and invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home. Text 107. Raghunatha Bhatta ke ati suni puna yehi rande si haya amrute rasama. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Raghunatha Bhatta was an expert cook. Whatever he prepared tasted just like nectar. Text 108. Parama Santoshi Prabhu Karena Bhojana Prabhura Avastita Patra Bhatera Bhakshana. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would accept the great satisfaction all the food he prepared. After the Lord was satisfied, Raghunatha Bhatta would eat his remnants. Text 109. Ramadhasa Yadi Prathama Prabhura Milila Mahaprabhu Adhika Thandre Kripana Karila. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. When Ramadasa Vishwas met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord did not show him any special mercy, although this was their first meeting. Text 110. Antara mumukshu tenhu vidya garavan sarva chitta knata prabhu sarvagna bhagavan. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. Within his heart, Ramadasa Vishwas was an impersonalist who desired to merge into the existence of the Lord. And he was very proud of his learning. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the omniscient supreme personality of Godhead, he can understand the heart of everyone. And thus he knew all these things. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunath Bhatta, they having this wonderful association, and he would periodically cook rice with various vegetables and invite Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home. So, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was personally serving Lord Chaitanya by inviting him for prasadam, and he was an expert cook. Whatever he prepared tasted just like nectar. So, we see in our parampara, this seva is given a lot of importance, and many times, especially nowadays, we see that people don't consider, many don't want to cook, and they consider this like a very menial work. So, and those who do it are not really considered, they're not really given much importance. I'm sure many of the Matajis would relate to this. But what gives me a lot of confidence is when I read these kind of narrations in our scriptures where we see these are not descriptions of Mataji's cooking. These are our great Goswamis who are cooking. And this seva of cooking for the Lord, even with Prabhupada's personal example, we see that this is a very, very important seva. So this art of cooking, this love with which one cooks for the Lord, it's very important. So even though many people in the world outside don't give importance to this, we should have a lot of confidence that this is a very important seva. And yes, we should try to do this seva as best as possible. Yes, when there are health constraints, then we may take help, and we should take help when time is difficult. But when we are performing this seva, we should consider ourselves very fortunate to be able to cook for the Lord. So here it is mentioned that, how with so much love and expertise, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, he was cooking, and his cooking is so well appreciated. And Srila Prabhupada also personally taught cooking to so many of his disciples, especially Yamuna Mataji is very prominent. She has written this wonderful, wonderful book, Lord Krishna's Cuisine. And she puts her heart and all her experience into that book. And I have heard from a devotee that in that the day her book was printed, when she got the first copy of her recipe book, it's like an encyclopedia of recipes. So it's a thick book. It's not a very small book. There are other books also in ISKCON recipe books, but her book is very, very thick. And when you read, it is actually like so detailed, and we can see how much effort and love she has put into it. And I've heard that when she got her copy of the printed book, she had her Prabhupada deity, and she went to her deity and she showed him each page. So we have to understand this is not just a mundane job that we get some ingredients and we put something together and people eat it. That is how food is cooked in the external world. But for devotees, it's a seva. It's a very, very intimate seva. So see, her she's showing that recipe book to Prabhupada, with so much love. So we can understand this bond and this instruction from her spiritual master. It meant so much to her. So when we get the chance to do any kind of seva in our movement, we should be very, very, grateful for it, whether it is cooking or it is cleaning or any, washing vessels. Every seva is very, very important. Okay. So when Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is cooking for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord is accepting that with great satisfaction, all the food that he prepares. And after the Lord was satisfied, then Raghunath Bhatta Goswami would eat the remnants of the Lord. Now, here again, a mention of Ramdas Vishwasa, because earlier we had read that at this time it was difficult to differentiate between a pure devotee and a mixed kind of devotee, or one who had, this Mayavadi conception. So here that part is revisited, because when Lord Chaitanya meets him, the Lord does not show him any special mercy, although this was the first time they were meeting. But why does the Lord not show any special mercy? Because the Lord is seated as Paramatma in everyone's heart. The Lord knows what is going on within the heart of each individual. Things which we may all, ourselves not know, not think about very consciously, some very deep rooted desires, some very, some desires which are in our subconscious mind. The Lord knows everything. Things which we may not really be apparently thinking about, but the tinge of that desire is there. The Lord knows everything. So the Lord knows the heart of Ramdas Vishwas. He knows that he is actually an impersonalist who desired to merge into the existence of the Lord. And he was also very proud of his learning. So Lord Chaitanya is omniscient. He's a supreme Lord. So he can understand the heart of everyone. And thus he knew all these things. Okay. Yeah, let's move forward. Swati Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ramadasa Kailatabe Nilachela Vasa Patnayaka Goshtike Padaya Kavya Prakasha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ramdas Vishwasa then took up residence in Jagannath Puri and taught the Kavya Prakasha to the Patnayaka, a family, the descendants of Bhavananda Raya. अष्टमासारा हि प्रभु बटे विधय विवाहना परिह बलि निषेध करिला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After 8 months, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bade farewell to Raghunath Bhatta. The Lord flatly forbade him to marry. Do not marry, the Lord said. Purport. Raghunath Bhattacharya had become a greatly advanced devotee while still unmarried. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could see this, and therefore he advised him not to begin the process of material sense gratification. Marriage is a concession for people who are unable to control their senses. Raghunatha, however, being an advanced devotee of Krishna, naturally had no desire for sense gratification. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised him not to enter the bondage of marriage. Generally, a person cannot make such advancement in spiritual consciousness if he is married. He becomes attached to his family and is prone to sense gratification. Thus, his spiritual advancement is very slow or almost nil. वृद्धमाता पितरायै कारः सेवना वैष्णव पाश भगवता कार अध्ययना. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Raghunatha Bhatta, when you return home, serve your aged father and mother who were devotees, and try to study the Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure Vaishnava who has realized the God. Purport. One should note how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, advised Raghunath Bhattacharya to learn Srimad Bhagavatam. He advised him to understand Srimad Bhagavatam not from professional men, but from a real Bhagavata, a devotee, who also advised Raghunath Bhatta to serve his mother and father because they were both Lord Chaitanya's devotees. Anyone who wishes to advance in Krishna consciousness must try to serve the devotees of Krishna. As Narottama Das Thakur says, Sadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Peche Kebha. Without serving a self-realized Vaishnava, no one has ever been released from the materialistic way of life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have never advised Raghunath Bhatta to serve ordinary parents. But since the parents were Vaishnavas, the Lord advised to serve them. One might ask why should not ordinary parents be served? As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.18, Guru Mataji, shall I read the sloka?
Yes, Mataji. Gurur na sasyat. Like this. Gurur na sasyat. Svajano na sasyat.
गुरुर्न सस्यात् स्वजनो न सस्यात् पिता न सस्यात् जननी न सस्यात् दैवं न तस्यात् न पितश्च सायान् न मोचयेद्या समुपेत मृत्युम्. One who cannot deliver his dependent from the path of birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a relative, or a father or mother or a worshipable demigod. Nor should such a person become her husband. Everyone naturally gets a father and mother at the time of birth, but real father and mother are those who can release their offspring from the clutches of imminent death. This is possible only for parents advanced in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, any parents who cannot enlighten their offspring in Krishna consciousness cannot be accepted as real father and mother. Following the words from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.200 confirms the uselessness of serving ordinary parents. लौकिकी वा लौकिकी वैदिकी वापि या क्रिया क्रियते मुने हरिसेवानुकूलैव सा कार्या भक्तिम् इच्छता. One should perform only those activities, either worldly or prescribed by the Vedic rules and regulations, which are favorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Concerning the study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly advises one avoid hearing from a non-Vaishnava professional reciter. In this connection, Sanatana Goswami quotes a verse from Padma Purana. Avaishnava muktodhiranam Utam Hari Kathamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarvopochistam Yatapaya. No one should hear or take lessons from a person who is not a Vaishnava, even if he speaks about Krishna. Such a lesson should not be accepted, for it is like milk touched by the lips of a serpent. Nowadays, it is fashionable to observe Bhagavata Saptaha and hear Srimad Bhagavatam from persons who are anything but advanced devotees or self-realized souls. There are even many Mayavadis who read Srimad Bhagavatam to throngs of people. Many Mayavadis have recently began reciting Srimad Bhagavatam in Vrindavana, and because they cannot present Bhagavatam with word jugglery, twisting the meaning by grammatical tricks, materialistic persons who go to Vrindavana as a matter of spiritual fashion like to hear them. All this is clearly forbidden by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should note carefully that since these Mayavadis cannot personally know the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, they can never deliver others by reciting it. On the other hand, an advanced devotee of Lord is free from the bondage. He personifies Srimad Bhagavatam in life and action. Therefore, we advise that anyone who wants to learn Srimad Bhagavatam must approach such realized soul.
Yeah, Mataji, I think we'll stop here today. So just 2 minutes, we'll discuss what we read. We read about Ramdas Vishwas, that the Lord knows the heart, that he's actually an impersonalist. So Ramdas Vishwas took up a residence in Jagannath Puri and taught the Kavya Prakash to the Pattanayak family, who were the descendants of Bhavan and Rai. And after 8 months, then Lord Chaitanya bids farewell to Raghunath Bhatta and says that you do not get married. You know, this is the Lord's very strong interaction, and Prabhupada explains that it is a concession. Marriage is a concession for people who are unable to control their senses. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, being an advanced devotee, naturally had no desire for sense gratification. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised him not to enter the bondage of marriage. So, this is, for a person who it's very difficult. There are different kind of bondages that are there in married life. So generally a person cannot make much advancement in spiritual consciousness if he's married, he becomes attached to his family, then there is a chance of getting attached to sense gratification, and that hinders the spiritual advancement. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him not to get married. He tells him that when you go home, you should serve your aged father and mother, because they are devotees. They were also great devotees. And he says, you study Srimad Bhagavatam, and that too from a pure Vaishnav who has realized God. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that his parents, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami's parents, were devotees. So definitely, this was Vaishnav Seva. So he was told that you should serve your mother and father. And then this very important shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.18, that one who cannot deliver their dependents from the path of birth and death should not become a spiritual master, or, a relative, father, mother, or a worshipable demigod, or they should not become a husband also if they cannot deliver their dependents. So Prabhupada says that one should be taking these positions if they can release their offspring from the clutches of imminent death. That's when they should become parents. So any parents who cannot enlighten their offspring in Krishna consciousness, they cannot be accepted as real father and mother. Then these verses from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, where it's mentioned that one should perform only those activities, either worldly or prescribed by Vedic rules and regulations, which are favorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So our focus should be very, very clear. And then the part about hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, so it should not be heard from any materialistic person who is just doing, using grammatical tricks, jugglery, and twisting the meaning of the shlokas of the shastras. It should only be heard from an advanced devotee who has realized Krishna. Only they can give the true essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he personifies Srimad Bhagavatam in life and action. Therefore, we advise that anyone who wants to learn Srimad Bhagavatam must approach such a realized soul, and we should not hear it from anyone else. Okay, so we'll stop here at 113. If any questions, any comments, we can take that. Sorry, I went a little more, ahead of time today. My apologies for that. Okay, so we'll stop here. Yeah, if there are no other comments. Thank you all so much for joining. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anant Koti Vaishnavi Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother.